Okay, solving slope problems, section 6.4. May need to solve some equations. So in the try these, we're going to practice solving for unknowns. So here, x is in the denominator. So we talked about that, a couple ways of doing that. In this one, I'm going to talk about the method of the cross product property, where if it's just one fraction on each side, you can multiply the crosses. So basically x times 4 is 4x, and it will equal 5 times 12, which is 60. Then it's an easy equation to solve. You divide by 4. So we might do that in some of these situations if the unknown's in the denominator. So 60 divided by 4 is 15. Okay, now the next one, the x is not in the denominator, so cross product is not actually the fastest method. All we need to do is multiply both sides by 3, that denominator there. And so we'll get x equals whatever 50 times 3 divided by 15 is. And so 50 times 3 is 150, divided by 15 is 10. Row L is installing a pipe. The minimum grade must be 4%. The vertical drop must be 1/2 inch. What does the horizontal run need to be? Because you don't want a pipe to be entirely horizontal, or it's not going to, gravity is not going to help drain it, or if it's a drainage pipe. So what is the grade 4% as a slope ratio, right? Because grades are usually given as percents. We'll convert it to a slope. So that's going to be a fraction. So 4% is 4 out of 100. So 4 out of 100. We can reduce that, but no need to. Now we want to calculate what the horizontal run will be. So the ratio for rise over run is 4 over 100, and that has to equal 0.5, 1/2 inch, to the run, something we don't know what the run is. So we'll keep this as a 4, right? And so now, again, the workbook does it a little bit differently, or it takes a lot of steps that are a little bit confusing here. So I'm going to look, okay, my unknowns in the denominator, so I'm going to use the cross product property. So I'm going to multiply those together and make it equal to those, multiplied together. So 4y, okay, those, wherever the variable is, I put that on the left. So 4y equals 100 times 0.5, well, that's going to be 50. And then I divide by 4. And so the 4's divide out, I get y equals 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. So 12.5 here, so the horizontal run needs to be 12.5. Okay. Penny knows that the slope of the ski run is 9 over 20. The coordinates of the top and the bottom of the ski run on a cross-section plan are 2 meters, 0 meters, and 1,250 meters, and unknown. What is the missing coordinate? So remember, your slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so this is going to be my x2, y2. This will be my x1, y1. So it has to be, the slope has to be 9 over 20. And so then our y2 is y, our y1 is 0. Our x2 is 1,250, our x1 is 2. Okay, I think it's probably continued on the next page. So 9 there, y minus 0 was y, and then what was that? Sorry, we need to finish that. 1,250 minus 2 is 1,248. Okay, so now get y by itself, we want to multiply by the denominator. 1,248 both sides. So I guess it's done here for us. So 9, and that's 1248, 1248. And so it's kind of repeated that. So those divide out. And then in our calculator, go 9 divided by 20 times 1248, 561.6. I think that was meters, if I remember correctly. Yep. Okay, and then a topographic map uses contour lines to show hills and valleys. The lines show points of equal elevation. So the further this part here, that elevation there is the same as this elevation here, right? The distance between those. So that means it's really steep here and not so steep here, right? So this is sort of low valleys. This is really steep going up here when the lines are close together. So that's just, if you didn't know that already, it's just something interesting. Omar is using the map to calculate the grade of the mountain. What is the grade of Mount Green along the line drawn on the map? So we need rise over run. And so we can see the 2 points here, but we don't know what the horizontal distance is. We only know the vertical distance. So we're going to, sorry, my phone went off here. We're going to need to calculate the horizontal distance using the scale. So you will need a ruler. So get a ruler out and measure this in your workbook. Okay, pause it if you need to. Pause the video. Once you've measured it, probably you got something around 2.2 centimeters. Okay, and then that is on the workbook map, but in real life, that's each centimeter is 100 meters. So we've got to multiply 2.2 times 100, which is going to be 220 meters. Okay, and then what is the change in the vertical distance? So that we need to take the 620 and subtract the 400, which is 220. And then, so that's our rise, 220, and our run is 220, so they're exactly the same. So that's going to be 1 times 100, which is 100%. So the grade of the mountain is 100%. That means basically the angle, if you were to graph something on a coordinate grid, so it's saying these distances are the same. So this is 220, this is 220, and that would get you to the mountain. So it's basically a 45-degree angle, if you're thinking about sort of what that slope. So don't think of 100% mean it's entirely vertical. It's not. Remember, entirely vertical is undefined slope. Okay, so that's the end of this section, 6.4. So you can do the practice on that and then go to 6.5.